Here's what we know so far, and why people across the region are paying close attention. In a development that has drawn serious interest in border communities and beyond, Nigerian soldiers have rescued 8 Cameroonian nationals who were reportedly kidnapped, while a large group of militants surrendered during operations in parts of Cross River State. It's one of those stories that doesn't just pass by as headlines, because it touches on security, regional cooperation, and the daily realities of people living near the border. According to reports from security sources and local accounts, the rescue operation was carried out by Nigerian troops operating in areas close to the Nigeria-Cameroon border. The 8 Cameroonians were said to have been held for some time after being taken by armed groups operating across forested and hard-to-reach terrain. At the same time, about 80 militants reportedly laid down their arms and surrendered to Nigerian authorities in Cross River. These 2 developments happened around the same period, and together, they point to a wider security push in the region. Before we go deeper into what this means and how it happened, take a quick moment to support the channel. If you find this kind of clear and balanced update useful, please like the video, share it with others who want to stay informed, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, feel free to drop your thoughts in the comments as we go along. Now, let's break it down in simple terms. Cross River State shares a long and often porous border with Cameroon. For years, parts of this region have faced challenges linked to armed groups, smuggling routes, and kidnappings, especially in forested border communities where movement is difficult to monitor. In some cases, criminals and militants move back and forth across the border, taking advantage of the terrain and the fact that they can slip from one country into another. Reports indicate that the kidnapped Cameroonians were taken during one of such cross-border incidents. While full details of how and exactly where they were abducted are still not completely clear, local accounts suggest they were moved through remote parts and kept in areas that are not easily accessible. This is often done to make rescue operations more difficult and to avoid detection by security forces. The rescue itself is said to have followed intelligence-led operations by Nigerian troops. This usually means information was gathered from multiple sources, including local communities, surveillance, and possibly even from individuals who had already surrendered or were cooperating with authorities. Acting on this information, soldiers moved into the affected areas and were able to locate the captives and secure their release. Importantly, the rescued individuals were reportedly found alive and handed over to the appropriate authorities for care and further arrangements. In situations like this, rescued victims are often given medical checks and psychological support before any plans are made for them to reunite with their families or return to their home country. While officials have not shared every detail publicly, the emphasis so far has been on their safety and well-being. At the same time, another significant development was unfolding. Reports say that about 80 militants surrendered to Nigerian troops in parts of Cross River State. Surrendering in this context usually means they voluntarily laid down their weapons and agreed to give themselves up to authorities. This can happen for several reasons. In some cases, sustained military pressure makes it harder for armed groups to continue operating. In other cases, internal disagreements, fatigue, or promises of rehabilitation programs encourage fighters to surrender. According to security sources, the surrendered individuals are believed to be linked to militant or armed groups that have been active in the area. While authorities are still working to verify their identities and roles, the number itself is notable. A surrender of this size suggests that ongoing operations may be having an impact or that conditions within these groups are changing. So why does all of this matter, especially to people watching from Nigeria and neighboring countries? First, the rescue of kidnapped foreign nationals sends an important signal about regional security cooperation. Even when borders are involved, actions taken by one country's security forces can have direct effects on the safety of citizens from another country. In this case, Nigerian troops rescuing Cameroonians highlights the interconnected nature of security in border regions. Second, the surrender of militants raises questions about what comes next. When armed individuals surrender, authorities are faced with decisions about investigation, prosecution, and possible rehabilitation. In Nigeria, there have been discussions in recent years about de-radicalization and reintegration programs for repentant fighters, especially in different parts of the country affected by insecurity. How these surrendered militants are handled could influence whether others decide to follow the same path. There is also the impact on local communities. People living in border areas of Cross River have, for a long time, expressed concerns about safety, farming, trading, and daily movement. Kidnappings and armed activity disrupt normal life. When soldiers carry out successful operations like this, it can restore a sense of confidence, at least temporarily, and encourage communities to cooperate more openly with security agencies. However, it's also important to be realistic. One successful rescue or one large surrender does not automatically mean the problem is fully solved. Armed groups and criminal networks often adapt, change routes, or split into smaller units. That's why analysts usually stress the need for sustained efforts. Not just military action, but also community engagement, economic opportunities, and cross-border collaboration. Another angle to consider is the humanitarian side. The rescued Cameroonians likely went through a difficult experience. Kidnapping often involves fear, uncertainty, and harsh conditions, even when details are not made public. Their rescue is a relief not just for them, but for their families and communities back home. It also reduces the risk of tensions that can arise when foreign nationals are harmed across borders. On the militant surrender, some local observers believe it could encourage others who are still hiding in the forests to reconsider their choices. When people see that surrendering does not automatically lead to immediate harm, but instead to custody and possible rehabilitation, it can change perceptions. That said, authorities will still need to ensure accountability, especially if crimes were committed. For Nigeria, operations like this also reflect ongoing efforts by the military to address security challenges beyond the more frequently discussed hotspots. While much attention often goes to other regions, the South-South and border areas have their own unique security dynamics that require tailored responses. As more official statements emerge, we may learn additional details about how the operation was conducted, the condition of the rescued individuals, and the background of those who surrendered. For now, what is clear is that this event has drawn attention to the importance of vigilance, cooperation, and accurate information when discussing security issues. If you're finding this breakdown helpful, remember to like the video and share it with others who want a calm, clear explanation of what's happening. Your support helps the channel reach more people, and subscribing ensures you don't miss future updates. And as always, the comment section is open for your thoughts and perspectives. Looking ahead, many people will be watching to see how authorities follow up on this development. Will there be increased patrols in the area? Will there be formal handover arrangements with Cameroon for the rescued nationals? And will the surrender of militants lead to long-term reductions in insecurity in nearby communities? These are questions that don't have immediate answers, but they matter. In situations like this, staying informed is key. Relying on verified reports, official statements, and credible local accounts helps avoid rumors and panic. As more information becomes available, it will be important to separate confirmed facts from speculation. We'll continue to monitor updates around this story and similar developments affecting border security and community safety. For now, this incident stands as a reminder of both the challenges and the possibilities when security forces, intelligence, and local cooperation come together. Thanks for watching and listening all the way through. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want more updates like this. And let us know in the comments what you think about this development and what you hope to see next.